lesson today. It's a mathematics lesson on the topic of rate, ratio, proportion and percentages. And today we shall dwell on ratio. Now a ratio compares similar quantities whose units must be the same. Ratios are normally given their simplest form and in whole numbers. For example, if a child has 16 teeth and her mother has 32 teeth, the ratio of their teeth is 16:32, which is 1:2. What you do in this case is you simplify the ratio to the simplest form. So in this case, it's going to be 1:2. Now another example. Two rods A and B measure 3/4 meters and 2/5 meters respectively. Find the ratio of their rods. So in this question, we have a rod A at 3/4 meters and B 2/5 meters. So the first qualification is that they are both in the same units. Therefore, what we do in this case, we just make this into whole numbers. We can multiply by the LCM of 4 and 5, which is 20, and 20 on both sides, so that we change these fractions into whole numbers. So this is going to be 15, and because the units are the same, we don't need them now. By 5 1, by 5 4, 2 times 4 is 8. So the ratio of their rods will be 15:8. Let us move on to comparing ratios. We compare ratios by expressing them in the form n:1, and where n can be an integer, a fraction, or a decimal. Now, let's look at this example. Express the ratio in the form n:1 or 1:n, and the ratios are 8:10 and 12:18. Express the ratio in the form n:1 and 1:n. Okay, let's start by writing these ratios in the form n:1. So what you do in this case is this last number here, you divide it by itself. In this case, it will be over 10, so that we change it to 1. And we divide the other number by the same, which is 10. So our ratio will now be equal to 2, 4 by 2, 5. It will be 4/5 is to 1. 4/5 is to 1. Now this one in decimals is 0.8. So the ratio is 0.8 is to 1. Now, the other one, we are going to have it in the form n:1. It will be divided by 18. So this one goes. Then we have by 3, 4 by 3, 6. And by 2, 2 by 2, 3. So it is 2/3 is to 1. And 2/3 is the same as 0.66 recurring, so 0.67 is to 1. Now let us express the same ratios in the form 1 is to n. So in this case, we shall convert the first number to 1 by dividing by the number. So divide both sides by 8, so that we shall have 1 is to by 2, 5 by 2, 4. 5 over 4. This is like 1 is to 1 and a quarter. On the other hand, it's going to be 12 is to 18, divide by 12, divide by 12. This is 1 is to by 6, 2 by 6, 3. 3 over 2 is the same as 1 and a half. Now the next thing we are going to look at is comparing some pairs of ratios here to see which one is greater than the other. The first ratio is 11 is to 5 comparing with 10 is to 3. And the other one is 15 is to 7 comparing it with 11 is to 4. This is how you go about it. I've said that in order to compare ratios, we rewrite them in the form n is to 1. So what we do in this case, we are going to divide this number here by itself and do the same to the other number, so that we shall have 11 over 5 is to 1. 11 over 5 is, let me have it in decimals. It's 2.2 is to 1. Then this other one here we divide by 3, so that we have 10 over 3 is to 1, and 10 over 3 into decimals is 3.33 recurring is to 1. Now, by looking at these two ratios, now we can say that this one is bigger than this one because of the number 3.3, which is greater than 2.2. So we say 10 is to 3 is bigger, is a bigger ratio than 11 is to 5. Now on the other ratio, we shall still rewrite it in the form n is to 1, whereby we shall divide both sides by 7. Then we have 15 over 7 is to 1, whereby 15 over 7 is equal to 2.14 is to 1. Then on the other side, we divide by 4 both sides, so that we shall have 11 over 4 is to 1. 11 over 4 is 2.75 is to 1. So looking at these two values, you realize that this one is bigger. 2.75 is bigger than 2.14. So this ratio 11 is to 4 is bigger than 15 is to 7. Distribution of a quantity in a ratio. Now, if you are given a quantity n and you are told that it is divided among A is to B is to C in that ratio, then the quantity of A will be equal to A over the sum of A plus B plus C. B will be B over A plus B plus C, while C will be C over A plus B plus C, as shown below. So A will be equal to A over the sum of the three, which is A plus B plus C. Then quantity B will be equal to B over A plus B plus C, while quantity C will be equal to C over A plus B plus C. Rebecca, Akinyi and Akobeti shared 2,400 shillings in the ratio 3 to 4 to 5. How much did each get? Now, this is how you work it out. Yeah, so Rebecca, Akinyi and Akobeti shared this amount of money in the ratio 3 is to 4 is to 5. And the amount of money was 2,400. So we said that to be able to get the quantities representing each one of them, then we take, for example, Rebecca will have 3 over the total sum of the ratio, which is 12, then times the sum of money being shared, which is 2,400. By 12, 200. So Rebecca would get 200 times 3, which is 600. Akinyi, on the other hand, will get 4 over the total sum times the amount. So this again is 200, giving us 800 shillings. And finally, Akobeti, who had 5 over 12 times 2,400, would get 200 times 5, which is 1,000. So Rebecca would get 600, Akinyi 800, and Akobeti 1,000 shillings. Let's now move on to changing quantities in a ratio. Now this involves an increase or a decrease in a ratio. Okay, let's look at an example. The price of a school bag changes from 400 shillings to 500 shillings. Now in this question, the old price of the bag is 400 and the new price of the bag is 500. So the ratio of old price to new price is 4:5. But that is not the increase. The increase is in the ratio 5:4. Now this is where students get confused. Now, ratios can be written as fractions. For example, the ratio 5:4 can be written as 5/4. If you take 5/4 multiplied by any number x, then the number will increase. The number will increase in the ratio 5:4. Now the reason is because 5/4 is greater than 1. So when the fraction is greater than 1, then it denotes an increase. Therefore, in the above example, the ratio by which the quantity increases is the ratio 5:4 and not 4:5 as the old and new price relate, but 5:4. Therefore, we can summarize this and say that if old price to new price ratio is 4:5, then this particular quantity increases in the ratio 5:4. Increases in the ratio 5:4. So we normally look at the fraction. Is it denoting a number greater than 1? If it is, then that quantity is increasing in that particular ratio. Now, in a span of 1 year, Muhindi's mass has changed in the ratio 6:7. If he is now 42 kilograms, find his initial mass. So the change here is a decrease because 6:7 can be rewritten as 6/7 and 6/7 less than 1. So that one is representing the decrease. Yeah, so the mass of Muhindi has changed in the ratio 6:7 in the last 1 year and is currently at 42 kilograms. So what this means is 6:7 represents a decrease. Yes, but current mass is 42, meaning the mass was bigger than that. His mass was bigger than 42. So in order for us to get his initial mass, we shall say 6/7 times the initial mass, which we do not know, should give us the current mass. So you can multiply this by 7/6 and do the same to the other side. So that this one cancels out. Then we have K is equals to by 6, 1 by 6, 7. 7 times 7 is 49 kilograms. Now some more examples. The price of a television falls from 9,000 shillings to 8,000 shillings. What is the ratio of the price decrease? In this question, the price of a television drops from 9,000 shillings to 8,000 shillings. The question is, find the ratio of the price decrease. So this is very easy. So the ratio of old price to new price is 9,000 to 8,000 shillings. So this is a ratio of 9:8. From the look of it, it shows an increase. So the decrease will be the opposite, which is 8:9. Why? Now, if you rewrite this in fraction form, it's going to be 9/8, which is a number greater than 1. Therefore, tulisema greater than 1 means an increase. On the other hand, this one is 8/9, which is less than 1. Therefore, this is the fraction that will show a decrease. Therefore, this is the ratio of that price drop. Another one. The number of goats in a Mbuzi farm has decreased from 500 shillings to 350 shillings. In what ratio has it decreased? Goats have reduced from 500 to 350, and this one gives us this ratio over Let's do first over 10 over 10, giving us 50 is to 35. Simplify further by 5 over 5, so that we have 7, 10. So the ratio is 10 is to 7. Since 10 over 7 is greater than 1, then this one represents an increase. But what we are looking for is a decrease. Therefore, the decrease will be the opposite, which is 7 is to 10. Another question. A shopkeeper increased the price of a radio in the ratio 27 is to 20. If the price of the radio was 1,000 shillings, find the new price. Yes, so the price of the radio increased from, in the ratio 27 is to 20. Then we are told if the price was 1,000, find the new price. So the price increased in this ratio. So if the price of the radio was 1,000, find the new price. So we shall just take the increase because 27 over 20 is greater than 1. So that is the ratio representing the increase multiplied by 1,000. This goes and this goes. By 2, 1 by 2, 50. 270 times 50. 270 times 5. 0, 5, 1350. So the new price will be 1,350. The percentage means per 100 and is denoted using that symbol. For example, the 3%, as you can see there, means 33 over 100. Fractions and decimals are converted into percentage by being multiplied by 100%. For example, 3 over 5 is equal to 3 over 5 times 100, which is equal to 60%. Percentage increase and decrease. Now, percentage increase is equals to the amount of the increase divided by the original value times 100%. While percentage decrease equals to the decrease, that is the value of the decrease divided by the original value times 100%. Example. In a school, 64% of the pupils study physics and 648 do not. How many pupils are there in the school? In a school, 64% of the pupils study physics. So 64% study physics. And 648 do not. How many pupils are there in the school? 64% of the pupils study physics and 648 do not. So it means this 648 is equal to 100 minus 64 in terms of percentage is equals to 36%. So 36% do not take physics. So 36% multiplied by the total population of the school should give us these ones who do not take physics, which is 648. So multiply both sides by 100 over 36 by 100 over 36 so that we eliminate it here and make x the subject of this formula. Then 648 times 100 over 36 is equal to 1800. So the total number of students in the school is 1800. Yeah, so that marks the end of our lesson. We have been able to study ratio and percentage together, and I believe you can be able to attempt any question from that subtopic. And for your evaluation, I have some questions listed down there. Attempt them and see whether you can be able to answer them correctly. And I wish to say bye for now. Let's meet in the next lesson. Thank you.